Money facilitates economic exchanges. When we go to the market to do shopping, we keep with us a certain quantity of money which will enable us to obtain the required goods or services from the market. We never think why the suppliers of these goods or services are ready to accept these currency notes or coins in exchange of the goods and services. They do so because they know they will be able to obtain goods or services for their business or domestic needs in exchange of the same money. This universal acceptability of money as a valuable thing in a given society is what gives it the value that people attribute to it. The value of all the goods or services can be expressed in terms of money. In the earlier stages of civilization, barter system was primary mode of exchanging goods and services. Before the use of paper currency began, during the medieval centuries, the metallic coins issued by kings served the role of currency in many societies. During those pre-paper currency times, the trading communities too had developed the usage of their private paper instruments to facilitate trade. You may be aware that in India, the usage of indigenous instruments such as hundis dates back to ancient times. In Europe, such paper instruments called the bills of exchange have been in use since early medieval times. Modern times saw the emergence of paper currency in many countries. This facilitated the expansion of commerce and trade to distant places. But this paper currency alone could not keep the wheels of business operations going full stream. The non-money paper instruments whose use had started among traders even before the advent of paper currency came up for wider use during modern times. These instruments in various forms such as the bills of exchange, checks, bank drafts, hundis, etc. were augmenting the support provided to trade by money. These instruments used as supplements to money are known as negotiable instruments. The word negotiable means transferable by delivery. The word instrument means any document defining certain rights and duties. Money holding and money transfers are essential requirements of the economic world. The negotiable instruments have helped in serving these needs of the trading world. With the emergence of information technology and internet, more innovations have taken place in methods to hold money and transfer it. Law governing the creation and use of negotiable instruments is contained in the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881. Let us now enter into the technical areas of negotiable instruments. The essentials of a valid promissory notes are: number 1, it must be in writing and includes printing and typewriting. 2, it must contain an express and not an implied promise to pay money. The word promise may not necessarily be used. Number 3, the promise to pay must be definite and unconditional. The following instruments signed by G do not become valid promissory notes. A, I promise to pay B rupees 1000 1 month after A's marriage with C. It is uncertain promissory note because A may never marry C. B, I promise to pay B rupees 1500 on C's death, provided C leaves me enough to pay that amount. In this case also, though the death of a person is a certainty, the payment is conditional. C, I promise to pay K rupees 2000 as soon as possible. This is an uncertain statement, but where an instrument is made payable on the happening of a definite event, the instrument is valid because there is no uncertainty regarding its payment. For example, a person signed an instrument in the words, I promise to pay rupees 2500 after a month of C's death. It is a valid promissory note because the death is a certain event. 4, it must be signed by its maker. If the maker is illiterate, he may put his thumb impression. 5, it must contain a promise to pay in terms of legal currency, that is, money only and not in kind. 6, it must have promised to pay a definite amount of money. This amount of money stated in the note must be definite and not uncertain. Where determination of the amount is to be based on some interest calculations or an exchange rate, or that the payment would be in installments, the promissory note shall be valid. The following is a valid promissory note. I promise to pay rupees 8000 in 16 monthly installments of rupees 500 each on the first of every month to S. If a default in any installment on the due date, the whole balance unpaid shall also become due. 7. The parties to the promissory note must be certain. Both the parties, the maker and the payee, must be identified on the face of the instrument. However, the parties may be described by the name or by designation, for example, manager of a bank, the managing director of a company, etc. Where, however, in a promissory note or a bill of exchange, the drawee or the payee is misnamed or misspelled, extrinsic evidence shall be admissible to identify him. Sometimes the drawer and the pay may be the same person. For example, when a person writes a bill of exchange as paid to the undersigned or order, sometimes the drawer and the drawee may also be the same person. For example, a bill of exchange drawn by one branch of a firm on its other branch. In such cases, the holder of the bill may treat it at his option either as a bill of exchange or as a promissory note. The drawee can give his acceptance to the bill of exchange by writing a word such as accepted and putting the signatures, or by simply putting his signatures on the bill of exchange. The amendment in the year 2002 has recognized an electronic check or the electronic image of a truncated check also as a check. Section 6 of the Act, which has given the definition of the term check, now reads as follows. Definition: under Section 6, a check is a bill of exchange drawn on a specified banker and not expressed to be payable otherwise than on demand, and it includes the electronic image of a truncated check and a check in electronic form. Explanation: A. A check is the electronic form means a check which contains the exact image of a paper check and is generated, written and signed in a secure system ensuring the minimum safety standards with the use of digital signature, with or without biometric signatures and asymmetric crypto systems. B. A truncated check means a check which is truncated during the course of a clearing cycle, either by clearing house or by the bank, whether paying or receiving payment immediately on generation of an electronic image for transmission, substituting the further physical movement of check in writing. A check is a bill of exchange and has following two additional features. Number 1, a check is always drawn on a specified bank, and 2, a check is always payable on demand. Examples of inland instruments are A. An instrument drawn in Mumbai and payable in Kolkata. B. A bill drawn in Goa on R. A person resident in India but made payable outside India. Examples of foreign instruments are A. A bill drawn in India on K. A merchant residing in London and made payable in London. B. A bill drawn in London on J. A merchant residing in London but made payable in India. C. A bill of exchange drawn in USA and payable in Egypt. D. A promissory note but not a bill or a cheque made in India on H, a resident of India but payable in Tokyo. Bearer instruments. As per section 13, subsection 1 of the Act, a promissory note, bill of exchange or cheque is payable to bearer which is expressed to be so payable or on which the only or the last endorsement is an endorsement in blank. The term bearer instrument means an instrument whose payment can be taken by any person who has the lawful possession of the instrument. It is not necessary that the instrument should mention his name. However, when he receives payment, he would be required to acknowledge receipt of money by signing on the instrument. Examples: A. Pay to A or bearer. B. Pay to the bearer. Order instrument. An instrument would be payable to order A. Where the instrument is expressed to be payable to a particular person or according to the order of that person. B. Where the instrument is expressed to be payable to a particular person and which does not contain any words restricting its further transfer. An order instrument is also negotiable, that is transferable, but it can be negotiated by an endorsement on it and then its delivery. The negotiable instruments containing the following words are order instruments: A. Pay to A or order. B. Pay to the order of A. C. Pay to A. A negotiable instrument made in the words pay to P only is not an order instrument. Demand instrument. As per section 19 of the Act, a promissory note or bill of exchange in which no time for payment is specified and a cheque are payable on demand. A. Demand instrument may be described as the instrument in which the holder need not wait for payment and can demand it as and when he chooses to do that. As per section 21 of the Act, in a promissory note or a bill of exchange, the expression payable at sight and on presentation means payable on demand. A check is always payable on demand. Time instruments. A time instrument means the instrument which is payable in future sometime after it is made. The following instruments are time instruments: a promissory note or a bill of exchange which is payable after a fixed period. For example, 90 days after sight or after date or on a specified day or on the happening of a definite event. The expression after sight means after having been seen. In a promissory note, it means that the payment cannot be demanded on the promissory note till it has been shown to the maker. And in the case of bill of exchange, the expression after sight means after acceptance. The expression after date implies after the date specified on the instrument. An instrument dated 10th August is made payable 3 months after that date. The instrument is at maturity on the 13th November. An instrument dated 30th November 1998 is made payable 3 months after that date. The instrument is at maturity on the third day after the 28th February 1999, that is 3rd March 1999. A bill of exchange dated 27th January 1992 is made payable 1 month after date. This instrument is at maturity on the 1st March 1992. A bill of exchange dated 20th September is made payable 15 days after the date. The period of 15 days will be counted from 21st September and the bill will be at maturity on 8th October. A bill of exchange dated 11th February 1996 and payable 25 days after sight is presented for acceptance on the 18th February 1996. The bill shall mature on 17th March 1996, counting the days from 19th February and keeping in mind the 29 days in this month. If the date on which a bill or note is at maturity happens to be a public holiday, the instrument shall be deemed to be due on the next preceding business day, or which means a day earlier.